Hindu leaders across Metro Atlanta condemn the actions of a controversial Swami exposed by our I-Team.
And they're not just upset with his million-dollar mansion and expensive cars. As I-Team reporter Randy Travis shows us, law enforcement wants to know whether the pastor tried to use them to get back at one of his critics. Randy.
That's right, Amanda Russ. Police take bomb threats quite seriously, especially these days, especially when it involves a religious institution. But it's what two former employees tell the I-Team that has the local Hindu community even more upset now with the Hindu Temple of Georgia.
Is giving such a bad name to us.
Leaders of several Hindu temples and organizations in Metro Atlanta still can't stomach what the I-Team already uncovered. And as you're about to see, there's more.
And he does not represent our Hindu culture or our Hindu religion.
They're talking about this man, the Swami, Annamalai, who prefers to call himself Dr. Commander Selvam. He runs the Hindu Temple of Georgia, a rather colorful building just off Jimmy Carter Boulevard in Norcross.
How you want to do this?
Well, I don't have any money on me now.
That's fine, you can pay through credit card.
Our undercover investigation revealed how leaders of this Norcross temple seem consumed with making money. From the front door, where they listed what credit cards they accepted, to inside the temple itself, with a charge card machine set up to take donations next to the holy statues. And even though devout Hindus reject alcohol and meat, the Swami told us he would gladly rent out the temple property for barbecues and beer parties.
There will be drinking.
Yeah. Okay.
Followers filed complaints with police and the Better Business Bureau, accusing Dr. Commander of credit card fraud, a charge he denies. But it's what happened to this man that has Gwinnett authorities wondering whether someone intentionally wasted their time.
He just picked on the wrong person.
Valmiki Raghunathan was the first Indian in Metro Atlanta to publicly complain about the temple and its charismatic Swami. The two men had a falling out over the rental of the temple auditorium for a visiting scholar. And Mr. Raghunathan was outraged to learn of Dr. Commander's other business ventures, selling prayers to overcome black magic and a host of other ailments, even charging thousands of dollars to read someone's horoscope.
He uses the Hindu belief system to prey on their worst vulnerabilities.
Mr. Raghunathan originally offered a public thank you to Dr. Commander for the use of the temple, but now says it was only to make sure the Swami did not make the seminar even more of a disaster. According to this Better Business Bureau complaint, Dr. Commander turned off the lights and air conditioning and forced participants to eat dinner in the parking lot, all because organizers refused the Swami's last-minute demand for more money. So when the seminar was over, Mr. Raghunathan says he began calling the temple, asking for a partial refund of his rental fee. That's when a simple business dispute became something far more sinister, allegations of religious terrorism. In 2006, one of Dr. Commander's assistants called police to report a bomb threat the temple had just received.
He said he will bomb the facility.
He just said he will bomb the facility, okay.
And kill the pastor and all.
And kill the pastor, okay.
Then the pastor, Dr. Commander, gets on the line with police.
And this guy, and he's using very filthy language, which nobody wants to hear in the life.
Ultimately, he accuses Mr. Raghunathan of making the bomb threat. In 2007, head priest Sharma calls Gwinnett police again, claiming Mr. Raghunathan had made more threats of violence.
The guy who is threatening us, his name is Valmiki Raghunathan.
Both times Gwinnett police investigated, spending days conducting interviews and collecting phone records. Police ultimately found no evidence backing up the Swami's claims.
Have you ever threatened to blow up his temple?
Absolutely never. He doesn't have a recording because I never called him to make these threats.
This former CEO of the temple believes Mr. Raghunathan. Dr. H.V. Shivadas told police about a strange request Dr. Commander Selvam made.
He asked me to call the authorities, the police, and lie to them, basically. He wanted me to tell them that I had received phone calls, threatening phone calls from Mr. Raghunathan. And he wanted me to tell the police that he had called threatening to bomb the temple.
So Selvam asked you to lie?
I asked him why, and he said to defend the faith, and I asked him what he meant by that, and he said, so the man will shut up and quit complaining about it.
Dr. Shivadas says he refused and ultimately lost his job. The I-Team reached the temple executive who made that first 911 call. He now lives in India. He told us Dr. Commander instructed him to lie too.
If that's true, what's being of the allegation, then I don't think that's setting the right example as a leader.
He's giving a bad name to all the Hindu priests.
The Swami refused to respond to repeated attempts for an interview. Now Gwinnett County authorities are looking into whether this religious leader sent them on a wasteful terrorism investigation simply because he didn't want to deal with an upset customer.
Well, another former employee this week, or at least last week, tried to get a criminal warrant against Dr. Commander, claiming the Swami was repeatedly making harassing phone calls to him, but a judge denied that request.
So what about these calls? What do police say?
You know, police aren't saying a lot about it, except they are investigating this and some other allegations that are going on with the Swami. So hopefully we'll have some more for you at some point later on.
All right, Randy, thanks very much.